Hello everyone and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program. We are in orbit where we're supposed to be, and I've been getting a lot of requests. And I'm not entirely sure why you guys would like this, but I've been getting a lot of requests to show orbital maneuvers. Now, I'm not entirely sure what everybody means. I mean, no offense, but it's a very generic question. So I guess I'm going to do my best. When you say orbital maneuvers for Duna, I'm assuming that you mean getting to Duna. And yeah, I'm perfectly happy to show that. It's kind of boring. It might take me a minute or two, but I'll do my best here. Um, I guess since we're taking the Kerbal container over to Duna, I can kind of explain what's going on. Basically, this is the protractor mod, which I have. And right here, what you want is wherever planet you're going to be at 0 degrees and 0 degrees, and then it tells you how much delta V you'll need and how many millions or gajillion miles you are currently away from it. Now, for orbital maneuvers, I just kind of guess at the degree. Like, I think it's over here somewhere. Basically, go faster to go out, go slower to go in. That's really how it works. So, all I do is I pick a spot and I do that, and then I zoom out, and it takes a really long time to zoom out. And I zoom out, and then there's my ring, and all I do is I speed my ring up, and I see, yeah, see, I'm going to be using lots and lots of delta V for that, aren't I? Yeah, way too much. So I should be able to roll. Yeah, see, if I roll it this way, it gives me a slightly better burn. Oh, that'd be almost perfect. Almost perfect, but not quite. Let's see if I can do it. If my apoapsis hits exactly, that would be the first time ever. Okay, it won't. So I can probably bring it in a little bit further. Whoa, too much. Too much. Let's try it from there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so with a 1087.2 meter per second burn, I can get within 38 million miles of Duna. And let's go ahead and see if we can fix that a little bit. Maybe, nope, that ain't gonna work. 34 million, 40 million, really? More? Okay, so that screwed that up. 37 million, here you go. Okay, 37 million. So, let's see if we can tilt it up a little bit. What does that give us? 31 million? See, so at this point, this is what I do, is you just basically go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like this until you get roughly where you want it to be. Now, if I really fiddled with it, because we have 21 minutes to work with it, so if I really fiddled with it, what I can do is, I'm going the wrong way now, so I gotta go the other way. What you can really do is you can kind of just, you can actually get really super close. I don't recommend doing it right away because you're going to have to make adjustments anyway. So like a 26 million mile intercept may seem like crap or garbage, but with a current thrust to rate ratio of 3.34 or 4.55, excuse me, which will go way down once we dump that big engine, which only has 745 meters per second left in it, which isn't enough to get us out. Doing corrections out here is much better than doing corrections over here. So we're going to leave that at the 29 million, because 29 million is a drop in the hat for as far as we're going. So that's the initial orbital maneuver. I guess we could show the burn as well, because we do have to burn. Let's go ahead and roll ourselves over to where we need to be. This is very slow because I did not put RCS on here, and I know everyone says turn on your RCS. RCS on does not affect the micro RCS on the module. Doesn't make it work better, unfortunately. I know people say that, I need to turn my RCS on, and I would if I had it installed. There's no RCS installed. It's just the module's RCS, the pre-installed RCS. It doesn't do you any good when you're trying to move a big heavy rocket with that tiny thing. Okay, so I got a little visual lag. I'm not entirely sure why. It happens from time to time. Might be a memory issue, maybe something, but hopefully it doesn't show up too bad in the video, and I do apologize for that. And unfortunately, going to Duna, and I hate to say this because they said it about the moon, and it was basically what killed the moon, but going to Duna is starting to become routine. It's, I know where to burn, I know where I need to go, and I know basically how to land. I think really at this point, the landing is the part that really gets me still. Okay, 30 seconds left. We're not perfectly aligned. We never will be perfectly aligned, as I mentioned in my Let's Learn, but closer is better than not. That's the other reason why you don't want to readjust your burn over and over and over again till the last second for several reasons, including what I just did, which is one, missing your burn. Another is you'll never be exactly on the little blue dot. You'll also rock or pivot if your ship isn't perfectly stable, and every little micro adjustment changes where your nose is pointing. So, you know, never worry about getting it exactly right. Just make sure you have an intercept of some kind. And even if you don't keep that intercept, because there are times when I've launched and gone and did my thing, and when I've got back to the other side, there was no intercept to be had, you can adjust it to where you get a new intercept. So it's an okay process. I mean, it's something you have to work on, but don't try to get it perfect every time, because you won't. Okay, I don't know how efficient this engine is. It seems like it's doing okay. Whoop, there's our camera flip. Yay, camera flip. And there's what? What is that? That is space junk? I don't know. It's 50 kilometers away, and I can't, or 50 kilometers away, and I can't see it. So let's go ahead and slow our rocket down a little bit, because we're coming to the point where we won't need it as much anymore. I'm trying to be a perfectionist here, and I really shouldn't be, like, at all. Okay, 0.2 meters a second, which, believe it or not, is actually a big chunk of speed when you think about it. But it looks, yeah, let's see, completely missed our orbit, I believe. Probably burned too much. Or off-center. There it is, see? So I completely missed our orbit. We're off by 145,000 kilometers between our closest approach and its location. So what I like to do there is, we're going to be on the map screen really quick for this. Well, I guess we could take a look outside. You know, watch the sun, watch the Kerbin, and watch Kerbal, and, you know, the sun and the moon and everything. You get a little eclipse going on there. There's zoop. Hey, look at that, and then it's gone. Okay, we'll take a look outside. And then what we do is I speed up until I get that little blue line. And then what I like to do is, if you notice, I'm centered on the sun, and that's because it makes it easier to like zoom in on the places where I need to zoom in. Yeah, it looks like I burned too much. So that little micro adjustment I made at the end was, no, I don't want to set Kerbal as target. I want to add maneuver in 27 days. So let's try slowing down. Does slowing down get us what we want? Slowing down gets us what we want. So yeah, I burned too much. It looks like it's kind of fighting me, which makes it kind of a pain in the ass. Here we go. Alright, and then once again, all you really do is you just make little... See, out here, so much easier. So much easier. Make a tiny micro adjustment, and I get super, super close in comparison to out there. 22 million. Can I get closer? 23 million. That's farther away. That's no good. So this is why I don't usually show this to you guys. This is very, 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 very boring. At least, you know, to me it's boring. I don't know. Maybe you guys are like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. It looks like we're above the planar. Yeah, we're above the planar. Let's bring it down. There you go. Now our planar is like right on, so that will stay as it is. But it also tells me what's wrong with my orbit, which is that I'm too far out, I think. 10 million. Okay, let's see. There you go. 10 million. And then, can I get closer? 8 million. And at this point, all you're doing is you're adjusting speed versus angle. Like if I increase my speed a little bit. 4 million. Okay, increase my speed a little bit more. Oh, when it starts tilting that like that, that means I've been grabbed by whatever orbital body, in this case Duna, enough to be flung, which means I'm within, yeah, I'm like within a million. Give it a little bit more speed. Oh, and I lost it, which means that was as close as I was ever going to get with this particular setting. So let's see. 1.7, can we get it closer? 1.8, that's the wrong direction, so we go the other way. 1.739. 1.982. So it looks like 1 million is our current closest. 1.742. Too much? Yeah, it goes the other way. So let's try speeding up again. That gives us what? 6 million? So yeah, see these little micro adjustments? I mean, these teeny tiny adjustments are enough to like throw me millions of miles off. Or millions of meters off, excuse me. So it looks like 1.73 million is as close as we're going to get. So we'll readjust when we get closer. But for now, what we need to do, and look at it, it's only a 42 meters per second burn. That's it, because my thrust to rate ratio is going to be so huge out there. Also, we're so much lighter out here, so my little thrusters are working instead of RCS. Don't need RCS anymore. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's lock this into position, like so. And then we will just fast forward for 29 days. Well, we'll save first, because it's important to save just in case I like overshoot or screw it up. And that can happen when you're fast forwarding at 10,000 or 100,000 times speed. So yeah, we're just floating through space. You know, it doesn't look like anything. The only way you can tell is the sun's moving really, really fast. 12 days. Okay. Yeah, and if you notice, what we'll be doing is we will be slowing down because I overburned. So even though my estimator said that I should burn at you know, X number of speed for X number of minutes, it overshot the actual burn. And so we overshot the planet, unfortunately. Now, right here, this really helps if you don't... Oops, yeah, I missed it. But out here, it probably isn't that big a deal. So I'm ahead by 3 hours. This right here is really helpful. So we're 136.06 million meters away. But if I burn the way this thing tells me to, this number will slowly go down. Now, it says it wants me to burn 182.5, which means it wants me to burn 182.5 in the direction of my prograde burn. That's not 100% efficient. So I kind of ignore this now, and I look at this, because this is the number that I want. This should get down to 1.7 million before we give a damn. So let's go ahead and speed up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. So yeah, this should get up to about 1.7 million, or down to 1.7 million. At the million mark, it should, like the low million mark, like under 10, it should go white, I think. Because it's like, it changes colors in accordance, not just with the planetoid in question, but with the distance. So it's a nice bright green because it's saying that I'm within capture radius, but not perfectly so. Okay, and once again out here, very little tiny things change your trajectory, so you have to be very careful about how you're burning and how much you're burning. Even the teeniest, tiniest bit can really, like, completely screw you up. So let's do that. Okay, 1.71 million. See, now I'm going to try to burn just a little bit more and see if this comes down a little bit, and we'll see. Okay, see, it's still coming down, so I can do this. Whoop, look at that, 2 million. That little tiny bit of extra burn cost me almost a million meters, like 500,000 meters, just for that little teeny tiny blip of a second. So I'm going to come back to this side, and I'm going to burn the other way again. Now, usually I don't care about this, but I just want to show it to you guys so you guys know what you're doing if you want to be out here doing this kind of stuff. Okay, 1.3. Okay, 1.8. It went down, it came back up. So we're 1.8 million. So that's a start. And once again, we can quick save. Boop, quick save. And then we just want to kind of look again. And 1.7 million isn't enough to land. It absolutely is not enough to land. But what we can do is, once again, now that we're out here, we can do something like this. We can say, add a maneuver in 36 days, maybe. Oh, what's that do? What's that do? I saw that. Okay, so my current periapsis is 1.8 million, but if I burn at that current location, look at my periapsis, 585,000 for a 4.2 meter per second burn. If I go up a little bit, 556, 466, and then I can adjust it as well with like speed, so I can bring down my speed just a teeny tiny bit. What's that do? 570, excuse me, so 570 doesn't really work for us. 562, speed just a little bit higher. 437, it's not bad. Enough for a planetary landing anyway. 349. Was that 236? That's pretty awesome. One more, a little bit. 205. We'll stick with 205 because after that much, you start to run into Ike. Ike starts getting in your way. So let's find out where that burns at. So it looks like it's right about here. Now, I could wait until that point in the burn, or I could try it right here. Personally, I think we'll wait because it is 36 days away. And once again, what that entails is just locking yourself in position. Quick saving, of course, and then fast forwarding until the time in question, which of course is 34 days away. And it takes a long time. It really does. This another reason why I skip all of this out here in the middle of nowhere stuff for you guys, because it really is absolutely dull. The most boring thing you'll ever see. You'll be like, oh my god, why do you show us this stuff? And this is one of the reasons I cut it out, because, you know, apart from teaching people stuff, and I'm perfectly happy to do that, there's really no reason to show this during a normal, hey, watch me go to another planet video. Okay, we're down to 13 hours. 4, 3, 2, 1 hour. And my thrust to rate ratio is actually still going up, which is great, because that means I'll burn even less fuel doing this maneuver out here than I would have 36 days ago. At some point, usually I think it's at your periapsis, or your apoapsis, whichever one when you start coming back, that number starts going down. So it will continue to go up until it peaks at your periapsis, and then it will start to go back down. So if you ever want to do a maneuver at your most efficient, you want to do it at your periapsis. But when you're up in this range of numbers, there's really not much difference. So here we go. So we're watching this go down. We're just kind of keeping an eye on all of our numbers. We're going to burn very light. We're not going to burn very fast. We're not going to be impatient this time. Well, I might. I don't know. Okay, 0.6. That's 375 kilometers. Yeah, pretty awesome. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. 340. Well, it looks like that might not be going down as much as it was. Oh, 296, okay. 260 and 240. Okay, let's bring it up. Now, if I had RCS, I could do that last meter per second with an RCS burst. You can actually do that. I wouldn't suggest it as it's kind of a waste, but you absolutely can. And, oh, 191. So we're going to do 191 kilometers, and hopefully we don't hit Ike doing that. Now, where are we? Oh, here we are. Wow, we're really far over there. We should, like, oh, we can't click on ourselves right now. Okay, 1 second, everybody. My apologies, I had to clear my throat. Okay, anyway. So now we have to get, actually we have to get over here onto our ship, and unfortunately Duna's really close, and I don't want to click on another, where are we? We're really close. Oh, here we are. Okay, here we are, right here. That's what we want. Perfect. Okay, so now where it shows us being at is not where we're actually going to be captured. That's just an estimate based on the numbers. The actual capture will be slightly different. So what we'll do is we'll come in, and this is how I do it when I'm not recording, so everyone knows. I just kind of speed it up until such a time as slowing it down would probably be the better idea. So, coming up on our blue to yellow marker. I don't even know what you call that. Duna encounter marker. So the encounter marker, I guess is what you call it. Okay, let me slow down a little bit, and then see this line right here? We'll just suddenly, boop, shoot over. Now, it wasn't lying to me, just so you know. The number was not lying to me. That is actually where I'm going to end up, is where it said I was going to end up. The problem is I'm not going to end up, yeah, see? So we're a little off. So at this point, what we do, or what I do, excuse me, is I go as soon as possible so that my thrust to rate ratio is still high, because if you notice, it's starting to drop really quickly. I just do this. Oop, well, not that specifically. Mostly I do this kind of thing, which is to figure out a way to burn like into the planet, so that my periapsis is still high enough, but my orbit is even, like that. So that's 142,000. We can probably bring it in a little bit, 121,000. And because of the angle, it just takes a little bit of adjusting here and there to get yourself a flat planar angle. And if you notice, if we go around Duna, we will end up intercepting Ike at 390 meters, 90,000 meters. Okay, now with this one, because of our distance, I really don't have to wait for the 3-hour marker that I just put down like it shows. I can do it now and just kind of eyeball it, and that's what I like to do for that orbital maneuver, as soon as I can find it. It's between the speeds, because yeah, here it is. Yeah, problem with not using real RCS is slowing down after you've sped up that much is extremely difficult. Alright, so let's get rid of that, because we no longer need it, because we're not in orbit, but we're already at orbit. Alrighty, and then speed this up. So this little burn here. little short, I think, but not so bad. Well, actually, if we do it a little bit more. There you go. Almost perfectly planar. Totally awesome. See? Little burn like that. Okay. Then the last orbital maneuver that we do, of course, is to just slow ourselves down. And I think I've showed you guys that enough. Because you just, not that way, you go with the X. You go like that, and then that's it. You're done. That's the whole thing. There's nothing to do after this. Except land. So it looks like we have more than enough fuel in our tank to do what we want. Which is, of course, to land. Or to get into orbit, and then from there we're going to land. So, yeah, that's orbital maneuvering with Duna. I hope that's what you guys wanted. I hope that's enough information to show you how I do it. In order to keep the video length low, because I'm going to want to show all of the landing procedure, I'm going to cut here, and then get into orbit, and then we will, I will show you guys the landing, because that's the most important part, is getting this thing on the ground, right? Right. So I'll see you guys there. Alright, everybody, I thought about it, and even though we are actually coming over onto the dark side of Duna, I'm going to try for a night landing. Yep, we're going to try for a night landing, because I just want to try it out. I want to see if we can do it. We are moving with the rotation of the planet. We are a little bit off on our thrust. A little bit. You know, that's going to be a very expensive deorbit burn, isn't it? Okay, well, that's okay. We have enough for it, which is good. I mean, we have the big tank, and then the little tank should get us exactly where we want to go. We're very close to it. Let's go ahead and try and drop this roughly in the middle of that big swath of ugly down there. Well, we are moving with the planet. It's going to take us a little while to get there, so let's try that. We're pointed in roughly the right direction, so we're going to sit in the map screen for a little bit. This has been a very map screen episode of KSA. My apologies for that, but I did have a request, and I like to follow through with requests. If for no other reason, then it gives me a reason to talk to you guys about cool stuff, like, you know, following requests and whatnot. Okay, so that wasn't very long at all, so let's go ahead and do this. And that might cut it. Don't know. Maybe. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Screw it. So, 10 seconds left. Let's just go ahead and start the burn, because it's going to take almost a minute. Which means we may miss our deorbit. No! Yeah, well. Oh, that's outside the map screen, because we are going to have to dump this extra little bit here that we're carrying. We're also going to want to close off, or cut off, or close our solar panels here in a minute. But we'll do that here in a minute. Actually, we'll go ahead. No, we'll do it in a minute. Not right now. I don't want to risk something happening. I mean, we do have that really big. No, we do have that big battery, don't we? So let's go ahead and close those now, so I don't forget. Oh, get rid of that. Now we're super much lighter with a whole 9.7 something thrust to rate ratio. That's pretty awesome. Okay, whoa, very maneuverable. Too maneuverable. Slow ourselves down. Probably undershot a little bit. No, not even at all. Okay, so this is going to take some adjusting. Some actual massive adjusting. Let's speed down, maybe? Yeah, speed down and over. Speed up a little bit. And that will be here. So we want to burn for 27.8 right here. And then from here, right? Done. Alright, cool. So, there's that. I don't know how close we're going to get to what we want, but looks like we might land right on. Looks like we might overshoot if we were to speed up time a little bit. Yeah, we may undershoot a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. I'll do the rest of this from here, though, because I'm going to have to see the spots on the ground. Oh, there they are. There's the little guys. So 85, 87 kilometers. We're going to start speeding up really bad. And we're at 52,000, 40,000. How far off are we? Very far off. We want to burn... Actually, we want to burn in such a fashion as... Well, I want to burn in that direction, right? I know, I'm eyeballing this. There we go. That's more like what I want now that I'm all upside down and backwards. No, we really do want our nose pointed in the right direction, though. That's like a big, 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 big thing. Okay. So, there's that, which is great. We're at 31,000 feet. Pop parachutes. Not yet. I know, what? Yeah, not yet. I don't know why, but not yet. Want to burn up, not over, so we'll just burn up. Because I don't think we're going to make it to where I want to go yet. Wow, okay, that's why I'm off. It looks like I'm sideways. Camera makes it look like I'm sideways, okay. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Perfect. Getting better at this. Alright, so several things. We do not want landing gear down just yet. Yeah, sorry, I had to clear my throat again, and I don't think it worked. Oh well. You guys get to hear me be a little bit crackly, I'm afraid, and I do apologize for that. So we're coming in at... Oh, we're at 10,000. Let's go ahead and release our chutes and kind of speed up a little bit, I think. There we go. Okay, we very, very, very much want to speed up because we want to slow ourselves down before those things open and tear completely off. So we will say 200, 300. We're only at 4,000 feet. We're going to have to dump this engine soon. So 200, 100, 90, 80, 70. Okay, that's good. Should be more than enough, so let's get rid of this engine. Bye-bye, engine. And hopefully our parachutes, well, they're slowing us down, but not a huge amount. Well, we'll have to see. I may have ditched the engine too soon. Landing gear down, of course, because we are going to be landing. I guess I could try to spin it a little bit. That really doesn't matter at this point. Space garbage should hit the ground before we do. Should hit the ground before we do. If you notice, I did move over the KSA anthill closer to the beacon. It took a long time and it was very dangerous and it did not work very well and it broke a lot. So not something that I really want to show to everybody. So I just kind of did it. And I think most of the garbage has since exploded. So we have some debris left. Not great, but not bad. I haven't used up our battery, so we can turn on all of our lights. Oh, look at that! Look at that. It's nice and bright. Wow, really bright from up here. Big old light tower. I did tilt the lights up higher, like I said. Not sure how much it... Oop, there goes the debris. Not sure how much it corrected the issue with the lights that we had earlier, but I think it did a little bit. So we'll bring this down, all nice and clean. I hope. Yeah, so there's still a little bit of overlap, but that's okay. I would have had to tilt them almost straight out. But that's actually a pretty big swath of lights. Oh! Oh, look at that. Bounced a little bit, but perfect landing. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's nice. So, here is our Kerbal container. This is going to be the home. Our Kerbal's home is right here. Don't have any thrust on this. Don't have any engines. Probably don't need the brain anymore, so we can ditch the brain. Bye-bye, brain. Brain's like, whatever. Actually, I think that now considers it 2 different flights. It does. Okay. So, yeah, so there is our landing of our first Kerbal container on Duna. Let's turn out the lights so we don't waste the battery. Please. Oh, right. Can't turn out the lights. So the battery's going to drain, but that's okay. Kerbals won't care. My bad. They'll just have to charge it when they come in. But, yeah. So, there it is. So once again, I would like to thank you all for joining me for Kilobyte Short on this Kerbal Space adventure in Kerbal Space Program. And I will see you next video.